Hey, Mr. Baker here doing the math review for Standard 6.4E. Um, and it starts off under this first page. Roderick correctly answers 92% of the questions on his math benchmark test. Well done, Roderick. It's A for you. Which fraction represents the part of questions Roderick answered correctly? So I'm going from a percent to a fraction. So 92% means 92 out of 100, okay? Percent always means out of 100. That's your denominator is 100 always. Okay, percent. 92 over 100. Well, these are both even numbers, so I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, and it won't change anything. Because 2 over 2 is 1. If you divide something by 1, you're just not changing it. So that would be 46 out of 50. And those are both still even, so I can divide both of those by 2. 46 divided by 2 is 23. 50 divided by 2 is 25. And that's as far as I can go. That would be choice C, 23 out of 25. Cool. Question number 2. Each model below is divided into sections of equal size. Which model does not have 75% of the total shaded? So I'm going to write these as a fraction. Remember, a fraction is the numerator, which represents the number of things that you're interested in this case, the number of shapes that are shaded, over the denominator, which represents the total number of shapes. So if I look at this here, it's hard to tell what's shaded on that one. But on choice A, it looks like there are going to be a total of 8 shapes, and 6 of those are shaded. Right. Choice B, it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 shapes, and 7 of them are shaded. Choice C has, 12 shapes, of which 9 are shaded, and choice D has 3 out of 4. Now, I'm looking for the one that is not equal to 75%. And 75%, guys, is one of these benchmark fractions percents you should have memorized. It also has to do with money. If you have 75 cents, that means you have 3 quarters. That's 3/4, right? So definitely 3/4 is equal to 75%, which means it's not the right answer. Right? We're looking for the one that's not. Well, look at this. If I multiply, just like in the last one, we could divide by 2 in both, right? If I multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2, I will get 6 over 8, which is this one. So that's definitely not the right answer. These are the same. They're equivalent fractions. If I multiply 3 and 4 by 3, I will get 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So that's definitely not the right answer. The answer is 7/10. 7/10 is less than 3/4. They're not the same thing. Okay. In fact, this is 75% and this is 70%. Right. If I multiply both the 7 and the 10 by 10, I'll get 70%. Right. It's less. Okay, number 3, Shelby earned $20 babysitting. She spent 30% of her earnings at the mall. What decimal represents the part of her earnings Shelby spent? Wow, awesome. The guys, this is a problem you don't even have to calculate, right? It's not asking you to find how much money she spent. It's just asking you to convert 30% to a decimal, right? So 30%, remember, means 30 out of what? 100. Okay, so remember our place value. That would be 0 tens and 30 100ths. So that would be answer choice none of them. But 30 100ths is the same thing as 3 tenths, right? So there we go. All right, choice. Question 4. The shaded region of the model represents 10%. So this is 10%. Yep. Which model here best represents a shaded region of 40%? So if you take 4 10%, let me draw it in here, 4 10%, that would be 40, right? So I'm going to look for one that looks kind of like that. That would have to be choice J. And to check, if I divide choice J into 4 pieces, each one of those pieces should look very similar to this one up here, 10%. Right, 10, 20, 30, 40%. Awesome. Question number 5. The 6th grade at Carter Middle School conducted a survey of 300 students to determine their favorite ice cream flavor. Of the students surveyed, 20% selected chocolate chip cookie dough. Which number line best represents the part of the student body that selected chocolate chip cookie dough as their favorite? So, I got my number lines here. Kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So I have anywhere from 0%, which would be nobody, all the way up to 300%, which would be everybody. And I'm looking for 20%. Okay, is it this much? Is it this much? Is it this much? Or is it this much? Well, 20% is the same thing as 1/5, right? So I'm looking for 1/5. That's way too big. That's way too big. I made one of these two. Can I do this chunk 5 parts? Maybe 1, 2. Nope, that's gonna be it. So I think it's this one, right? 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. That would get us there. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100%. So yeah, that would be 20% right there.